in this research, we tried to address a very important problem, how to increase organ donations. What did we do? We went to a service center to first find out how people that go to a service center are being asked whether they wanted to register to become a donor. And we found a few things where we thought we could improve on that. So first of all, we saw that the form that people received was extremely complicated and took also a long time to read. So we thought, okay, let's try to simplify the form, use a very plain language and only have the things on it that are really important. Second, what we found out was that the forms were being handed out once people were done with the issue that they came for to the service center. So for example, if I wanted a copy for a birth, or if I wanted a copy of my birth certificate and I was done with it, towards that end of that process, I would receive the form and I would be, and I would be asked whether I wanted to sign up as a donor. And at that point, I would think, when you're done with something that you came for, you just want to leave and not be handed out a complicated form. So we thought, okay, well, what if we just simply hand out that new simplified form at the beginning when you come into a service center and you just sit down and wait until you're being called. And then the third thing that we tried was, since we now had the simplified form with a lot of space on the form, we thought, well, let's maybe add a nudge sentence at the top of the form. And we tried 3 different kinds. One was actually one that also the UK Insights team tried very successfully. It simply asked, if you needed an organ transplant, would you have one? So now if you read that question while you're sitting and waiting to be called to a counter, it's like, most likely, what would you answer to that question? Most likely you would say yes, right? Of course, if I needed an organ transplant, I would have one. Now, if you answer yes in your mind, you might, as a second step, think about it, that it might be a good idea to sign up as a donor, because from somewhere the organs need to come from if you needed one and if you wanted one. The second nudge sentence that we tried was something like, if you are, imagine you or a loved one needed an organ transplant and you couldn't get one. So play up the emotions and make people realize what kind of a horrible situation that would be. And then we tried a third nudge statement, very similar to that one, but where we tried to use empathy and altruism. So we tried to make people put themselves in the shoes of others and think about it, how others feel who are in that situation. And we ran a field experiment with all those different versions, and we had a tremendous success. We found that we were able to increase organ donations by about 150%, significant. The key implications are that, first of all, you can make huge, tremendous, significant changes that are important to society and welfare by understanding what behavioral economics is, by understanding how to nudge. The second thing is that we learned that simplification is key. And the third, if you understand how human psychology works, you can, if you use the right principles at the right time, you can use that for the greater good.